quickly mention, as far as this draft goes for CDEC, Slark is incredible with Iron Shell. It is one of the most fearsome heroes you can run into in the mid-game if he has a good laning stage. EG should be aware of this, and he's also a pretty good matchup against Gyro during the duration of Shadow Dance, and when it's over, maybe you can disengage. You have so much burst going into Gyro, which most melee cores actually can't do, because they just get rocket barrage to death, but Slark has that, that ability in Shadow Dance to actually take the fight to a Gyro in melee range. So I think CDEC have a very well-rounded draft with that last pick, and I think EG were taken completely off guard by it. That said, though, they have their own comfort picks. Yeah, that they do. It's all about the comfort zone. Fear, another game to be played over on Gyro, while Skywrath Mage, you get a twofer now for AUI 2000. And Samal on the Amber Spirit, we had a wonderful display of his talents on that hero just a couple of days ago here on the main stage in Key Arena. And it was absolutely superb. And with an Undying, you always feel like that early game pressure is going to be strong. And it looks like that's exactly what EG are trying to achieve. They'll move Universe up to the top, Samal to the mid, so they can run an aggressive tri-lane at the start with Fear, PPD, as well as Aoi together. And this means that CDEC, well, it's not really going to change their lanes that much anyway. They're already planning on pushing that Leshrac into the mid and the Darkseer to the offlane. It's going to be interesting to see. If this is a tri-on-tri lane, it's the lane to watch. That's just how Dota works. When two tri-lanes meet, there's bound to be a lot of action. And even if let's say there's no action, then one team is just flat out farming the other, because else they will be looking to get an advantage via kills. Actually see Aggressive's position. He's already looking for the early attack down here, putting the Observer Ward inside the lane, so you'll understand just how far EG moved down. Garda is the man doing the block on the wave, and then Darkseer is moving over, so Darkseer will remain on the bottom for the start. Sorry, it's the Slark who's now actually TP'd himself up to top, so they've split their lanes up already. Yeah, they just waited for whatever information they could get. They see the aggressive dual lane that EG were planning, and they just decide it's not worth it. I actually think they might have had a shot at it, but the Slark versus Clock matchup is good for Slark. Now, of course, he's going to get the help of Q's Visage, and like EG will be rotating up with the Undying. And at the same time, Fear in that offlane with Gyro will not be finding as much as he would like. And in the previous Gyro games we've seen, Fear has been getting a lot of farm. This lane is not that easy for him to play the Gyro against. Decent kill potential, especially level 3. And Aggressive's not having the greatest start to his time. He didn't level up Pounce to start with. He leveled up Essence Shift instead. And that might have been because he realized he'd be going up against a hero like a Clockwork. So the mana's been completely burnt out of him already. And with the creep pull off to the side, he's still going to find his levels coming up shortly. It's just a contest for farm. And Fear, actually, they keep this dual lane off lane with Fear and AUI together. Try and keep XZ. They can't keep him away from the farm, but maybe they can at least force him away from the lane. Yeah, you just see how much the teams are adapting. The moment the Skywrath rotates bottom, it's not a winning lane for CDEC anymore, so they just go and stack the jungle instead now with Garter on the line, and maybe he will rotate top like constantly. Adjusting to solve the laning problems that they may have. And right now, I think EG are pretty happy with the lanes they've got. Samel is doing pretty well in mid, as per usual. Again, this is not a matchup that I would give Ember any sort of edge in, but he's still winning the super early exchanges against Shiki. He's just, as far as the first few minutes in lane go, he just seems to be the better mechanical player in this matchup. He might be having a little bit of help at the moment. AUI was able to pick up an Invis room, and he's going to walk his way in towards the mid lane. He'll find Garda here, and well, terrific smoke time from CDEC as AUI's Invis rune instantly triggers it, and you're not going to be carrying around dust or anything which can counter what was just done anyway. That's the shortest duration smoke we've seen in the tournament. Instantly cancelled. Actually did absolutely nothing. Well, what it did give them information. So even though he doesn't get the gank, he knows that Skywrath is there, but they can't really use it. Very good rotation from AUI. In fact, he already just had down the bottom. He cancelled the clarity of the Darkseer, which is actually going to make it a little bit more difficult for Rexy to keep these Iron Shells up on the lane, because he doesn't have his Soul Ring just yet. The bottle has already been like ferried out to the mid lane, so he has to wait for the courier to get back. By that point, he should probably have the money for it. And Shiki really needed this too. Like, his creep wave's going to let him catch up to the farm, but he needs to be able to zone out Samal a lot more than what he currently is. Well, EG, top lane Universe, Garda, trying to come around the corner. PPD is still waiting in the tree line. CDEC have no vision of this at all, but they have to know he's around. If they go for an aggressive play, PPD can still either Soul Rip or Tombstone. He's holding his point for now because he wants to see what solution he needs to go for. If they get the chance to just burst someone down in the cogs, we might see him just go the Soul Rip. But I think the more defensive of those two abilities in a lot of cases that could arise up here would actually be the Tombstone, just to slow down CDC on their way in, and Universe can just cog and run out. Their gank did not work out. And Lion is going to rotate again.
And this is a lot of time without finding levels. Then again, he can't do the pull on the bot lane anyway, because the Observer Wall is still blocking up the camps. A little bit further to the right, so it's not actually on the magic push, so it's not blocking up both the camps inside the Radiant jungle. But for now, Garda, right underneath the Dire Observer Wall. He thinks he's being stealthy by walking into the tree lines there, but Samel knows exactly what's going on. His Flame Guard will go off cooldown at the moment, and in fact, they've also rotated in AUI 2000. So by knowing this, they could try and go for a counter gank.
Yeah, if he stays there for too long, he's first blood. It's going to be very easy for EG once Samel hits level 6. He's almost there. Garter will decide against it.
Yeah, he actually saw AUI walk across the lane. That's the reason why he backed up. Universe getting very close on this top lane. There's a Cog's going to drag in the slug. Now he's looking for that pounce while PPD removing a lot of his life. He pounces up and away. The rocket's still available here from Universe. He'll get vision back on this slug again. And you got Decay in just a moment. In fact, it's back off cooldown again. But with the support coming in from Shiki, they have to back up for some mail. It's a Trip Spirit down to the Visage. Evil Geniuses, finally they'll be the ones that spill the first blood. And it'll be on the Visage after an interesting initiation from Universe.
Such a great play call from EG to go back there. Instead of diving onto the Slark, they realize there has to be a TP coming out from the Lesh, and then they TP their own in turn, and Ember just the more impactful hero in that engagement the way it turned out. Very, very good map movements here.
And what a great time to also rotate it in. It was still the Undying who got the last hit. So PPD was the man with the extra cash, but there's there's never a bad time to give money to an Undying. Even if PPD does play that 5th more sacrificial position. And while all that was going on, like your TP out heroes, you've got Fear fighting his level 6 on bot lane. So attacking into this Gyro on the bot is very suicidal, because you'll be coming underneath cooldown. And the Slark's not really in a position where, like, Aggressive is not finding momentum on this Slark at all, which is something he really needs.
He's not getting as much farm as he would like right now. The farm is favoring EG quite a lot, as a matter of fact. They're 1,500 gold ahead with just 1 kill. That's just lane farm. There's been no tower push at all. It's a very good start for them. And if you're CDEC, you probably look for a timing window that is Lion hitting level 6 and Slark hitting level 6. Then your heroes start really taking off and being able to gank very easily. And Lion will get a lot of experience shared here with Shiki, who of course takes the gold. We're rotating into mid again, as Q right now is taking experience. He has to be careful. Samel can solo him easily. Lion is of course in the neighborhood. Called for the bait.
And if Samel does initiate onto that other side, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. Very difficult to bring in help for that. Observer Wards are going to finally time out the bot lane, so CDEC, they lose vision of what's happening with EG on their bot lane, for now at least. But these Iron Shells keep pushing the wave back out again. As now Samali does actually jump in, he goes over on Q with the Flame Guard up. It will be Hex, but he's not in range of the ball. Just backfired up, and then the hook shot from Universe. He wants to finish the job. No rocket available. Samal barely able to escape. Universe for the Cogs will buy himself a little bit of space here. He'll have a rocket up in a moment. Even Fear TP did try and have some part in that. A level 1 rocket is not enough to find that kill, and Universe knows it.
Just look at how fast the teams are reacting to.
He's still going to give it a shot. That's not enough. No, it's actually short as well. Middle lane, Samal just really can't get the searing chain. The stun to fall up from Fear, trying to find more space. Samal couldn't do any more extra damage, but it might open up enough for Fear to get this kill on Garda as Universe actually cold forced himself down. And this will be a kill for Fear, but Universe trapped underneath the tier 1 tower. The kill will come in with Visage with the lightning damage as well from Latrak. EG severely punished as again CDEC bring in reinforcements, and again we're going now on top, which is PPD getting just attacked by Aggressive a little bit.
This is what does happen sometimes from EG. Samel is such a hyper-aggressive player, and if the enemy team is ready for it, a play like that is just not going to work. That was really a deep dive. Lion was still in position, and he lost his Flame Guard too fast. It's the price he pays. I think in this game maybe he should have gone for a 204 build instead of a 303. Yeah, yes, you get a lot of damage on the searing chains, but hey, the extra 150 tank
Universe, hook shot coming in with the battery assault. He's going to try and control the track. No option for a good earth, and now in comes Sumail with the extra jump in with the double stun. Keep Universe and Sumail back. He wanted to slide a fist and then just get the searing chain, if possible, onto the retreating Visage, but unable to find the combination.
And while all of this is quietly happening, or not quietly happening, while all of this is happening, Darkseer and Skywrath are quietly farming in the bottom lane. EG want to make sure AOI gets a Mystic Flare at a reasonable timing so he can combine with the Clockwork. He also has really good combination with the Ember, of course, with Sleight of Fist into Searing Chains. If that's level 4 for the 3 seconds duration, it's more than enough to find a kill on most of the Radiant heroes with the Flare. But of course, we haven't talked so much about Xyz. He has just mainly been staying in the bottom lane, and he is getting a lot of farm now as a result of all the action that's been going on elsewhere. And that could make for a fast mech for CDEC, whereas the one on EG will be a lot later if they're getting one at all this time.
And last time we saw it built over on the Skywrath Mage, and AUI, well, they have been giving him a lot of space in that bot lane. The same thing's been happening for the Undying, but PPD went into the Arcane Boots instead. He is a natural mech carrier, but you can't have both your supports taking most of the farm on the map.
And you have to get mana on Undying. This hero has a lot of spam potential with enough of a mana pool, and without Arcane Boots or some sort of other item to compensate for that, you just don't get enough
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Where's that vision? He doesn't have it on the heroes. Now we'll actually see one, but misses the hook shot. He's actually trying to have a go at the Latrak.
And Q destroyed the rune, so AUI just got the single rune this time around, the bounty rune at bottom.
Tower is under attack.
And classic CDEC play. They're going to rotate top. This now Darkseer is getting active. He's level 8. They're looking to take the first tower of the game very quickly here, as EG planning on maybe finding a trade bottom combined with a gank. If they get both of these, this would be very, very good for them, and I don't think CDC are going to expect this, although shaking maybe he does. He's actually falling back very defensively.
He's not sure about it. He's moving over towards PVD as well as Universe, actually going through the tree line to try and break the smoke while in middle lane. It's Q and Garda coming in. They're looking for the kill on Sumail. The Spirits up. One have enough life to survive this. Support's coming in from Universe as well as PVD. They throw down the tombstone and Fear. It needs to be a big call down. There'll be a catch out too. And he wipes it down as well. Universe dropping very, very quickly with the lightning and the familiar drops. There's a double kill for the Latrak. They're looking for more. PVD ripping a little bit of life. The support's arrived in here. It's aggressive. Going on Fear. It's a triple kill for the Latrak. And PPD on the run. No stuns for the Familiars, but they got some decent damage. Surging in the slug. He doesn't have counter bubble, but there's that Iron Shot combo with the Death Bar pack. There's the kill for the slug. And CDEC. Momentum is coming their way again. A sharp spike to the Golden Experience graphs.
They just knew what was happening. They got the top tier 1 for free. EG were trying to trade for bottom, but they weren't fast enough, so Fear left it. And they just know that, of course, they're going to be rotating into mid to gank Shiki, and they're very quick to respond with their own rotation from above.
Bottom lane aggressive. Thought he was fine, but EG, they at least get the consolation prize.
And now this combo being online, you're going to see more of this in this game. It's 100% certain that Universe and AUI will be grouping up more. Their ultimates, it's another thing about Clockwork Skywrath that isn't talked about so much. Their ultimates combo very well, and you catch them in place and you just blow them up. But they also have very similar cooldown, so they just very naturally will be able to gank at the same time.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Yes, this bottom tower might actually fall now as well. So EG, the last fight didn't go well, but if this gank transitions into a tower as well, they ended up getting a fairly even trade at the end of the day.
Darkseer wants to surge in for the denial, and PPD doesn't want to let him have it. And he won't. Skywrath Mage will take the last hit. Meanwhile, in mid lane, it looks like Garda's coming forward. There's the next over on Fear with a Sleight of Fist, but Chain's not doing any work. Fear just explodes to CDEC, and Sumail's forced back further.
He's not having a good game on Gyro this time around, which is a really big problem for EG. This hero doesn't play too well from behind compared to some other carries. And I want to say both Ember and Gyro depended on a good early game. Twice on Ember, he's died 3 times on the Gyro. And you compare that to CDEC with 1 dead on the Shrek and 1 death on this Sonic. They're just getting the better exchanges early on.
You're right, CDEC, they've moved around perfectly. The team fights have been going their way more. And this resulted in the Latrak having almost 6k net worth. A lot of money coming into this, and we know the power of Leshrac when he gets farmed up. This isn't like game one. This isn't a support Leshrac. It is a core, and a quickly progressing core as well.
Shiki's having a better game than in the last game. And in the last game, he was still very impactful, even though he had a couple of deaths that maybe could have been avoided. He still dealt so much damage and took a lot of focus for EG in the fights. And it's what CDEC are doing right, which the panel has actually talked about. The first Leshrac pick we saw at the main event was LGD giving it to VP, I think. And VP went with Leshrac together with Queen of Pain, and they were like, the way you play a core Lesh is that you pick it together with a strong carry, so that you have a mix of physical and physical damage.
PPD. Shots down from Universe. The Tombstone's also going to be in the neighborhood, and there's your Skywrath Mage combo. Samela wants to come in and be careful. This guy's walking around with DD with a familiar shot. Perfect timing coming in from CDEC. The call down will force CDEC to move back behind their tier 2 tower.
I don't think they're done yet.
Nice cogs from Universe, keeping that Slark at bay. The Familiars are still moving forward, and well, no drop down. Actually, it will be over on Fear. The PPD is still standing his ground. No more real initiation there from Evil Geniuses.
EG have the weight superior here. CDEC are not interested in engaging uphill where their ward isn't. Their ward is here, however, so they will see Universe getting in position.
They need that slow. The Lightning's going to do the job. The Surge not bringing the Shrike in range.
This should actually tell them there is a ward. You see Universe pinging it out. There's no way that Lightning is able to hit him at nighttime. So he's pinging his location where he got hit, and they will probably try to sentry this one out.
It's too far away. AUI threw it down, but the Observe ward's further up.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They come back for tier 1 tower. They don't want to let it go. Aggressive loves the moment. Not only Myers, but he's farming up all of EG's jungle right now.
Oh, he's getting their stacks, but it's going to cost them a ton. I think EG will be okay with this, even if they knew it was going on.
Just means that flash farming to catch the Gyrocopter up is not really going to be there. He gets some money, in fact, yeah. Aggressive gets away with it. He'll move up to the top lane, he can farm that lane up. Add pressure to the tier 2 tower, and this stops EG from adding more pressure into the tier 2 tower on the bot lane, or even looking to attack in to CDEC, which they want. They have the Dark Snowball that just scout them going up, and in fact, a smoke move coming out here from CDEC. I'll see Universe farming up, but it looks like that's not their target. They want top, they want to kill into a tower.
EG are taking the right path, though. They're completely escaping this gank. I'm not sure if they did see any of it with their ward. I think they didn't. At least they didn't ping it out.
They saw them move up onto the hillside, and
yeah,
without any hero, with like the only hero you got showing in lane is a Slark. You can put one-on-one together and make two.
One-on-one is a trap. Aggressive is just keeping the split push going. So this is the problem, right? You can tell EG are under pressure because they respect CDEC's movements and they let them get more out of the map. Aggressive, farming up very far in the top lane. He's going to once again start damaging this top tower. If not himself, then at least the creeps will. And XZ is also moving in position. They have a good ward here, showing them that EG aren't there. And at the same time, EG are also showing in the Dire jungle. So they might flat out just lose this tier 2 for no trade.
CDEC, they're going to back themselves up. PPD's moving up. The trade-off could be from Fear on bot. Now he's trying to force the lane in to get CDEC to look down south, while Samel farms up most of the Radiant jungle. He's still a while off having that Battle Fury of his. But if they can secure the tier 2 tower and potentially even a kill over on Garda, that'll be a nice little thing to sweeten the pot for EG. But the Familiars are coming out now from CDEC. They're having a look around. They're trying to find an opening. They just see Universe in the mid. And they're about to find Samel as well as AUI.
Bottom tower is under attack.
But AUI is very happy with this.
Radiant structures
if he can get the last hits on them.
This game is slowing down a little bit right now. I think it probably favors CDEC a slight bit because of the Midas advantage they have on the farm. They should be able to farm faster than EG. When it comes to pickoff potential, though, the Slark is still a very vulnerable target. If he gets caught by the clock Skywrath, he will die from full health with no counterplay available, of course, going for the Midas instead of a little bit of tankiness, or maybe building into, say, a Mantis Style or a BKB first, or a drone even, that we've seen from Aggressive in quite a few games, especially on his PL. It looks like he's transitioning now into an Ogre Club for now, so this could be SNY, it could be early BKB. Looking at BKB, EG have very few solutions for that until super late game. Both Ember and Gyro are spread damage carries that deal a lot of damage, but not really to that single target in the Slark. And if that's the reasoning behind getting the BKB, then I could definitely agree with going it first in this game with a Midas.
You're right, looks good, but EG, as you said though, like later in the game, it's going to look better for them. For now, they're trying to get a little bit more control of the early game by smoking up, looping around, and looking for CDEC, but CDEC are always on the other side of the map when these smoke ganks happen. So Lion's got an invis rune. He's going to have a bit of a look around inside the Dire jungle. Unfortunately for him, he's standing right on top of a Dire sentry ward. As Samal's going to walk up, Data getting a series chained up. He wasn't really ready for this one. Finger of Death is available, but Samal, Spirit Jump forward. There's already a rocket, and the Spirit Jump will allow him to get this last little tick of damage into Garda. And there she goes. Well, the Flame Guard doing the work. But the tier 2 tower still drops in favor of CDEC on the top lane.
Actually got 464 gold for that kill on the Ember. Samal getting a little bit more than I thought he would. Line is...
That brings him very close to the Battle Fury.
Yeah, he's making a lot of progress on the Ember here. This is probably going to be one of those games where EG slow play, because their early aggression didn't really work out. They didn't get the lanes they were looking for all the time. They had to shift multiple times. They're losing both of their safe lane towers, which opens up the map a lot for especially the Slark. Now at nighttime, he's even safer because he has the 1800 night vision. No one on the Dire team does. They do have a good ward inside their own jungle. Gets to pick off. Well, they're not going to have Aggressive's back. Let's see. This will be a Sanj. No, Blink Dagger. Actually, getting mobility first.
He wants kills, the casual Ogre Club for life. Brave Aquila for a little bit of regen and stats.
I would agree with this on Slark though. Actually, getting a mobility item first. We see, I think, like 90-95% of Slark games, you get either Blink or Shadow Blade as your first major item.
Yep.
Aggressive prefers the Blink here, and on second thought, definitely the better choice than getting BKB, but now that he got a Blink first, I don't think he should go SNY. Like now that probably is going to come out too late for its effectiveness, and unless they get a really good fight now, in which case he might still get it.
Well, for now, they're actually looking more over to just get some wards down. It is a full team smoke up here from CDEC, and EG have to be mindful of this. If they know things are not right, they're actually pinging out saying defense to the tier 1 tower on bot lane. That's where CDEC are moving over to now. There's the double Blink Dagger combination as well. You've already got Garda walking around with a Blink Dagger on this Lion. Combining it up with the Slark's movement,
structures are fortified.
they can just quickly jump
Dire's
in and pop
bottom tower
any
is
hero they
under
really
attack.
want to try and find. Now PPD puts his own Observer Ward down, so both teams have a good movement with bot lane, and Universe also locking aggressive. That blade down, not even helping him at all. Universe just evaporates. To the CDEC damage and aggressive coming in more. Blink forward, gets the turn on the damage. The Tombstone trying to help that finger. Not enough to kill off Fear. Garda so low. The mech keeping him up until the sub comes in. Actually, he's undying. Getting the last bit of damage and keep up the shot will slow down the path. And Samal going in very deep. A double searing chain moving around as EG. Samal picking up a double kill. They move in deeper as well. Q's on the run out in the Sleight of Fist. They're getting rid of at least one of the familiars. And the TP out from the Visage will be successful. There's no more stuns here for EG to use. And
that looked like it was going to be a really bad fight for EG when they lost the Clockwork for pretty much nothing, but it just seems like whatever team is engaging into the other gets punished really quickly. CDEC with a follow-up engage from the Slark weren't really able to follow through as Samal with a perfect timing on the Battle Fury. If he didn't have it he had it like 30 seconds before that fight broke out. If he wouldn't have had that, that could have looked really bad for EG, but a lot of spread damage being done.
It flags how important that kill on Garda was. That extra cash to have the Battle Fury for that one fight. It was a critical kill, and something which Garda really, again, couldn't have foreseen because of the Sentry Ward being there. It's a D-Ward position, but that's all. Now, Aggressive looks for his opening with an Invis Rune, but Samal's looking really good right now. He does not want to try and get up in his face. Especially knowing he probably won't be able to pick up the kill anyway. Not if there's a defensive spirit floating around, which there is behind the tier 1.
We should also mention the mech on AUI. I'm not sure if you did.
I have not yet.
I do believe that was in the fight as well. Yeah, it was on cooldown after the fight, so definitely helping out EG. But we were debating whether they would be able to get a mech in time or not, at least compared to CDEC, who definitely got it way earlier in the darks here, but he's managed to get a decent time on it. At minute around 20 is still pretty damn good. Makes a big difference in these team fights with so much spread damage coming out from both teams. Mech is one of the absolutely most valuable items for its cost.
Well, it's critical for both teams during that last engagement. Looks like they're looking for another one as well now. CDEC, well then again, hookshot. They've gone up to the top, it's aggressive. That shot is not going to help him too much. It's enough to pounce him away. They cannot keep up Evil Geniuses. That Slark is just way too fast. Really thought EG would be able to dish out a lot more damage to him before he's able to leap away.
And you see Aggressive's approach to this when he gets hookshot. It's entirely possible to pounce out of cogs with Clock in there if you're facing the right direction. But he plays it the same way every single time. He destroys the cogs instead. And being only level 1, they only take 2 attacks from him. He runs out a little bit and then he pounces when he's facing it. So not taking any chances here. Very experienced Slark play here coming out from Aggressive. Just consistently, well, I guess you could say apart from that dive at the bottom tier 1 tower when he went in and they got a bad fight out of it, he's consistently been making good decisions this game.
If he can keep it up too, and after having that BKB, be the critical player right now for CDEC.
And speaking of BKB, Fear got it. So they're going to come out at roughly the same time, Aggressive, meaning he is about, what's he about the Midas in value, a little less ahead. As the other items they have are pretty comparable. Drum is a little less expensive than Blink. They both have Aquila and a Wand.
So they could be a lot more even. I'm still seeing Sumail topping the net worth board. Now he's got this Battle Fury. He's moving very efficiently through the jungle and building into a Skadi as his next major item. So Darkseer might continue to push out these lanes, but I don't know, for me, man, you look at it, and EG are farming in the comfort of their own tier 2 tower areas. There's no real pressure being applied by CDEC right now, but this will all change as finally their smokers come back off cooldown again. They don't have another one for another 12 minutes, but there's one coming out in the courier now. They've got to make this count.
And you just know they're going to use it right away as well, right?
Yep.
There's no way they're saving this. As I'm saying that, they're saving it. Great, okay.
Caster's Curse kicks in.
Wait, they changed their mind?
No, they see him. The Observer's watching the stack being done with the Tombstone as well. They could try and contest it. But at the same time, Fear's worked through this very, very quickly.
They're holding on to it for now. It looked like they... they're changing their mind now.
It's on the line. Here we go, here we go.
Like I said, they use it right away.
I believed you the whole way, Synderen. The whole way. And then jump away. The smoke is blowing already. CDEC, this is not what they wanted from this. Sumail was close enough. He just jumps back to the Spirit. But they're still ready to force fight. So BKB is now up on Shiki. So if they want to try and come onto this tier 1 tower, they can do so. The Ember's not in the most terrific fighting condition ever. As he doesn't have the skull, he does just get aggressive. There's the movement in. They get the hex over on Sumail with a finger of death. Is there enough? Universe hook shots in. Tries to push it back in the defensive Spirit. Sumail gets out. Leaves another one. Wants to TP back and then come back to this fight at full life. Aggressive. Needs to pound himself away, but this is BKB. The 10-second one triggered. And then will blink himself away to safety. There is a homing missile in his tail. But CDEC, that's 2 sticks in a row not really going that way. First initiation on Sumail. Well, sorry, the first being the smoke, the second being the initiation on Sumail. And with these big abilities down, EG have the confidence to go into the Roshan pit.
Oh yeah, that was such a big win for them. Finger's gone, they used 2 BKBs. EG didn't even use their BKB on Fear. I think this one is forfeit. If you're trying to fight into this as CDC now, at least you need to get a really good backroom wall. But there's no Blink Dagger next to you. Don't force that because it's not worth. So finding that surprise engage that we have seen from him before vacuum Euros up onto the cliff is pretty unlikely to happen here, as they will even lose some time to read some familiars for Q. This is a very long cooldown as well. EG finding so many wins in just one fight.
Shot down, actually go even deeper. The XZ earns from the Mystic Flare as well as the extra attack. He's killing the T1 tower. Sumail! Huge trouble! He already pops the Agency on at the same time. Runs up out of the cooldown. Successful with that Shadow Dance. But again, these familiars, they're going to lose both of them. That's so critical. Over 2 minutes without any familiars on the deck. Visage is basically a soul assumption and grave chill right now.
And it's a level 1 grave chill too, so it's pretty weak. Oh, for it, but Sumail quick to jump out. So this is 2 minutes with CDC without familiars, which
Radiant's bottom tower
in one way is a really
attack.
big problem. Or well, it actually is a really big problem because he can't farm his eggs. He would like to farm it and then use it when it's off cooldown, but realistically getting 600 gold in the next 2 minutes is not really going to happen, though. If he had the familiars, he could have probably managed to get it around minute 31. Because last game we're talking about his mech visage with Tranquils. This time it's Tranquils into Ags, and it's simply because Darkseer is a better mech carrier and gets it faster, as he would have more than likely gone for the same build once again. But those birds, I don't know if Ags is the real or the right item in this game, to be honest. He's playing against Flak Cannon and Sleight of Fist. He could just die really quickly. Whether you have 2 or 3 might not make the biggest of difference compared to having, say, a Solar Crest or your Slark.
I agree with you, man. It's one of these times where you think, okay, are my familiars even going to stay alive during the team fight? If you can have them alive and you got those 3 stuns to combine up with your back into a big wall or track follow-up stuns as well, then sure, it'd be terrific. But for now, EG, they have ways to counter that. As this Ember Spirit gets closer and closer towards Skadi, even if he does get familiar drops, the Ember Spirit might be able to survive the initial attack. Knowing also the fact that Universe has always been there when the initiation has started, those hook shots, really troublesome. Not to then also mention, Undying put a tombstone down during the fight. When CDEC is difficult to get a lot of space to work with. These BKBs are definitely going to help on the course, but Latrak, they really need a victory on a team fight because he's down to 7 Bloodstone charges on this Lesh.
Now that you mention Undying, now that I think about it, I'm starting to worry a little bit for EG's game plan in super late. Yes, they have really good cores on the Gyro and the Ember, but both Skywrath and Undying really fall off. They're lane dominators, they're early mid-game oriented, and AY is trying his best to stay relevant by getting a Medallion into a Crest, probably. So he's going to be, in a way, more about his items, the mech and the Crest, than about his spells that just get flat out countered by BKB. This hero is like one of the absolute worst heroes in the game at playing against BKB carries. You're super fragile, you have absolutely no mobility, you have nothing that goes through BKB at all, and you can just be singled out. So it's very important for EG that both of their cores keep farming, so that they can still manage, even with their supports definitely falling off later.
CDEC are trying to put down some aggressive observer wards, and wow, these guys only just came back to life again. They can't afford to lose these familiars. One of them will drop. The resum is still just under 2 minutes. Also to keep our eyes on top lane, aggressive. Pushing in, so someone has to TP back, and it will be Sumail. Easiest play to TP back when he can just remnant back to the lane as well. There's just easy movements from Evil Genius at the moment. Jump from aggressive to hold up from Universe. They're actually going to isolate the Slug. It's BKB TP out. No way to cancel this one. With the hookshot already being used.
Yep.
So a smart move out.
But this is still good for EG. They force out another BKB charge. CDC not really finding that much. And that is going to be a really important thing later in the game, because that way Skywrath can be a lot more important. If these BKBs weren't even being forced out and CDC were reaching, say, like minute 40, 45 with 10-second BKBs on their carries, that Skywrath could really have a hard time. But 5 seconds is definitely possible for him to survive, especially with all the armor he's managed to build up with this build. He has 12 bonus armor right now.
Is under attack.
Maybe stay alive.
Universe aggressive. Trying to go for the pounce on him, but the Force Staff allows him to just get that rune and get out. The rune being an illusion one. Where does Sumail go here? Is this just as that time where you go for the Daedalus?
Yeah, I think so. You rack up the damage. You know your supports aren't going to be doing that much damage, so you and Gyro have to do it. And you have to do damage to single targets too. Like, he can't just spread damage, but with the Daedalus, you hit a single target really hard if you get the right grip, in comparison to, say, a Desolator, where you just spread out stable, solid damage, but don't get off that really big hit. I think that's definitely the way to go.
CDEC again are moving into the dire jungle. We do have the Aghanims now completed on the Visage, so we will have trip abilities.
so it is going to be a Daedalus build-up. I like the fact that he stops for the Eye of Skadi on the way. Sumail is known to be a very aggressive player, and in this game he's just realized, based on the way the fights are going, he has to tank up. If he goes for the full glass cannon build, he's going to be targeted out and have a really bad game. So he compensates for it by getting a really solid stat item, which is also really annoying for the Radiant to deal with. They're pretty mobility based in their fights, and just getting slowed down by the Eye of Skadi on every single target when you jump with a Sleight of Fist is problematic to deal with for heroes like Slark and Leshrac who want to keep running you down.
So CDEC now. So how do you even stop this right now? You got CDEC who are holding back. They're chilling inside the dire jungle. They're taking a little bit of farm from here and there, but nothing's really been forced. While the Ember Spirit and the Gyrocopter continue just to free farm up. The slide's getting slightly bigger, so it doesn't appear to be farming anywhere near the rate of Evil Geniuses. In fact, the EG boys are getting more experience on this map than CDEC. In fact, the hook shot barely missing Shiki. That would have just put them even further behind. It just feels like CDEC are battling against the clock, and EG is going to be ready to force the issue and push down the lane.
I'm really not so sure that's how it's going to play out, because they also have a Darkseer on the defense. Again, if you look at later on into the game what this lineup can provide, of course their vacuum combos are going to be difficult to land. Like vacuum into Split Earth, or vacuum into Earth Spike, or vacuum into Bird Stun are all pretty difficult, but they have 3 of them. So there's plenty of potential where one of their heroes is locked down and they can still get it. And Darkseer in the late game situation, you just know that wall is going to be effective. Like if you get a copy of Gyro and a copy of Ember, those are agility carries, and the illusions will hit hard. And the stronger you get, the stronger they get. So CDEC don't only scale with their own strength, they scale with the strength of their enemy, who are definitely focusing a lot on farming those 2 cores, so those wall illusions will be bigger than, say, if they had spread the farm out on 3 or maybe even 4 heroes.
The only way that could really backfire is if you have that Battle Fury doing work with those illusions.
Absolutely.
That's when you'll have some problems. There's now the full Skadi being delivered down to aggressive. So he's becoming tankier and a better hunter. But both these teams are not wanting to fight. They might be forced to in a moment though. Roshan has potential spawn time in roughly 5 seconds. And already CDEC, they're moving around the pit. So we'll have just about a 1-minute spawn time for Roshan. That's not too long into the counter.
And there's a gem on Q. CDEC are preparing for that situation to arise, and EG with pretty much black map. They have 1, which is very defensively placed around Universe's position right now. I think, do they have 2? No, they have 1. And a couple of sentries to go with it, but mainly looking for aggressive CDEC wards that they either countered or just were never placed. Sumail is putting some pressure. There's another sentry in place here.
Yeah, it got scouted out by the Visage, though. He pinged it straight away. They can get rid of this. And this is just Sumail out of position. He's going to go down. He's trying to as much damage as he can with the option from Universe. A little bit more control time here for CDEC. They're just so tanky. Visage will at least pop inside the cogs. And that's the gem on the ground. They can move forward and grab it for themselves. And Sumail, he comes wide again for themselves, trying to combine with the familiars. Shiki, real trouble for him. The Orson, the double scar, can't keep it down. He's got more help. Aggressive in the front line of Fear, pushing in after aggressive. There's still the fight. The time look out the Ember over with those spirits aggressive. He'll still go down. They're mopping up the familiars. The last attack in from Aoi will take care of it.
And this is why Sumail got a Skadi. If he did not have a tank item there, he would have been blown up and that fight would have gone horribly. But instead, he manages to disengage. The burst damage from CDEC is not enough because of a superb Soul Rip coming out from PPD there. And they managed to turn the fight around, which is really incredible for me, considering the vacuum wall from XC was also good, but just managed to buy enough time for the spread damage of multiple Sleights of Fist and of course the Flat Cannon and Call Down that a lot of them tanked. Was enough in the end, and big fight for Evil Geniuses, even though they lose Sumail there. With how that fight was initiated, I think they're going to be very satisfied with the outcome.
Especially if they can take Roshan. PPD is going to commit his ulti for this, as well as the Tombstone to help him out. He's got the damage for it. They don't want to kill this up too early unless they're going to give the Aegis the van. They'll have to give the Aegis the Immortal over to Fear, as Sumail is still dead for another 13 seconds. CDEC won't get there in time, but as a people anyway, they do arrive there. And it will be Diego's Immortal and Roshan going the way of evil geniuses.
Even though they don't get it on Sumail, it's better that they get it not just to have it on Fear, but also so it's not on the Lesh. Like, you really don't want to play against the Leshrac with an Aegis here.
Shiki would really love that too. Like, he's got 5 Bloodstone charges. He can't survive during these engagements. The Yule Scepter is being used defensively to try and like just avoid EG's attacks. But that's not going to be enough. They need to actually have that first EG hero lock down Sumail. Moving forward, if he has a bit of a peek, you'll see the Darkseer start a fist-screen chain actually on XZ. He tries to surge away the hook shot. He was expecting the surge to just make him run, but the chain lasts a little bit too long. The hook shot's off target.
Yeah, that's an uncharacteristic and unfortunate miss there from Universe that would have more than likely ended up in a kill.
Aggressive was going to turn it around by walking into the dire jungle. I don't know if it was really going to work, however. When you
Who got the gem after the fight, by the way? Did the Radiant recover it, or did they lose it? They lost it. Right? Or did they put in base?
No,
where is it?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It should have been recovered.
Who has the...
It's on Courier. It's on the Courier of the Dire side.
Yep.
And now delivered over to AUI 2000.
So EG managed to steal the gem of XC, which even furthers their victory in that team fight.
Just good times all round for EG.
Dire's bottom tower
They're
is
still,
under attack.
like, this game is still so even. There's not even a difference in a penalty in it. The experience, however, is a different tale. As Evil Geniuses have about 5K on the experience going their way. And they're going to smoke up and see if they can force the issue a little bit more. They're going to come right in the side of Aggressive Universe. Actually hugging the side, so he knows there's someone. Well, actually, he doesn't know if he's on the right or the left. And Universe actually not visible at all to CDEC, but they caught a glimpse. And so the Darkseer and they're farming up that camp. You could hook shot yourself into that. But the rest of EG will have a hard time following him in.
Multiple key items coming out on CDEC, by the way. They just got a force tap on the line. They got a BKB on the Darkseer. And they got
he got him! Mid-pounce! Aggressive, real trouble! With a rocket all coming in, homing missile's going to connect. Can't break free of the stun. The Corbin will come with a decay. He's able to at least pounce himself away to safety. But they go for more. Despite a fifth searing chain catching an XD and Aggressive. He's still running for the way inside the town into the back. Into a 4-man wall. EG will still try to trigger one of their BKBs. And Shiki, she isolated on the backside. Try and TP out of the cover of a BKB. Will be successful. In fact, a finger of death ensures the kill of Universe. With the spirit jump up, Sumail also wants to find his target. Got it back into the lane, Aggressive. Waiting it out, he's regenerating up, ready to come in. Right now, he's going to get locked in. Aggressive, where's your damage? It's all there. He's stealing the essence of fear out of him. The Aegis Immortal will trigger, but Sumail's still here, but the Familiar's coming in. The Suns are back off corner, so he can keep fear locked. They go back in again. The 50 plays from a Bison Smoke with the flashback in. Gata, he's burning right now. The shield of Sumail. While the battle's still going on the back line, Fear needs more health. Can't find him though. He's going to pop. They might get these steering chains, but Sumail will hit the deck. Start fisting around. They need to bring him down. They're going to. Slowing him down, and it will be enough. The fight goes the way of CDEC. PPD was trying to come back to help, but it was all too late. What a fight. Huge advantage, and now they force down the mid lane for the tier 2 tower.
This is the kind of fights that Slark just thrives in, when he can't get focused and locked down, but gets multiple attacks off and just steals what ends up being 60 agility in that fight with his Essence Shield, just laying into Fear, forcing out the Aegis. Then whenever he drops to half health, he just disengages and re-engages really quickly, comes back to full health again. And that's the problem EG have with their draft, right? They keep spread damaging, but they don't focus aggressive down fast enough. So the longer the fight extends, the stronger this Slark gets. And if you look at that fight, that was absolutely crazy. There were so many plays in that fight. And of course, what started the whole thing was the patience and aggressive. I did not believe he was patient enough with his BKB that he could kill the ball.
With the double damage through, chasing up the Universe. The match will be triggered right now from AUI and Aggressive, going in deeper again. With the BKB triggered, he's actually attacking into the tier 3 tower. But he's got Blink still.
Hookshot?
It's up.
So if Sumail was alive, they would have gone for that, I think. But he's the only one who can catch up, so he would have got himself into a horrible position there with Universe. But yeah. The Slark, as I was saying in that previous fight, super patient, uses the BKB very late, which helps a lot in the fight. And in contrast to that EG, they got forced to using their BKBs by the 4-man vacuum wall. And that's what opened up the fight to Slark when he knew Fear didn't have the magic immunity.
As these BKBs start dropping in time, all this money which CDEC are picking up, like I suppose the Abyssal Blade doesn't really care that much once Slark completes that, but you managed to gain yourself almost 7,500 net worth in favor of CDEC. Even the experience kicks up by almost 10,000 as well. It's a huge swing. Evil geniuses, they may be staring down the barrel of a lost TI5 Grand Final, or at least this game. At CDEC, they can group up again. Are we sitting at a smoke point now? We're not. There's still just a 5-man movement.
I think if you're CDEC right now, you want to slow play. You want to wait for the next Roche, or like there are two ways of looking at it. Either you fight right now, so Roshan, in case you lose the fight, can't respawn yet, or play it slow and you look for the gank when Roshan is about to have a potential spawn. Now, knowing CDEC, they probably want to fight right now because they want to fight all the time, but they're not the only team looking to do it right now.
Yep, EG, they're going to go for the loop around, so you leave Samal on the front lines, and you bring the other 4 from the rear. While
this could work out very well if they catch Garter
Dyer's
first.
bottom tower
that Observer was still down though. The smoke might break, but you're right, Garter is a long, long way in the back. The smoke's actually going to give EG. Universe hook shots up with the battery assault. It should be out of control. Garter and Samal jumps further down. Universe forced up, and Garter can't do anything about it. If he turned around to attack him, the Blade would have just killed him anyway, with the Undying minions doing their work. So a good smoke from EG. They do find the line, and they fuse a very tense situation with CDEC around their bottom tower.
They do, however, not get any collateral. There's no tower they can claim. There's no Roshan yet, and I don't know if that was the timing EG was looking for. I think they just aren't happy with just finding a line. They were looking for a way bigger kill than that one, but CDEC immediately disengaging when they realize that they're kind of being pincered in with Ember from above, the 4 others from below. Get out with 1 casualty. At the very least for EG, though, it opens up the map a little bit.
Yep.
Get to push bottom. Maybe they do get a collateral after all. Looks like CDC don't want to defend this tower. So smoke for Lion and tower, I think, is okay.
Structures
the question is if they're ready for Roche with another smoke, or if they're on cooldown.
And use their fortification. Familiar's coming in close too. He is in the neighborhood. And Samal doesn't want to risk himself. He's 10 gold away from completing up the Daedalus. So all he wants is just that last hit to survive.
Yeah, they have to get the hell out of there.
He's being up pushing.
Universe,
where's that hook shot? He already got stunned the first time he arrived. The rocket will give him the vision. The Lashrak, and there's your hook shot up. He's able to get himself away, pushing the Lashrak back. But where is your stun? You don't have anything to penetrate the magic immunity.
Top tower is under attack.
And there's definitely not enough damage to kill him before the end of the DP. Now CDEC, it's smoke time again.
Big item alert here. Emperor Spirit grabbing the Daedalus. There's also going to be a Force Staff now coming out for AUI, so a couple of big items for them going into this fight that could just give them the little edge they need.
Well, yes, and well, no, it's not a fault. The Tombstone will drop in fear from the battle up. He can get actually bashed for a moment, but Aggressive is not winning this fight. He has to pound himself away. BD's going to stick with him, and there's a searing chain. Another decay. He's going to drop in life, at the same time, a quick run out of here. You've got a Yule Scepter. They're all going to keep Ember Spirit out of the fight for the moment.
Aggressive found it, EV.
Well, that's a nice little wound to have. Can come back in as far as you can, but EG, they're trying to isolate both Q as well as Ghana. You've got Pokemon River, but these familiars, they're already attacking to AUI 2000. And Fear's not sure about this either. He did a little bit of chip damage, but EG, they're just not finding that one hero out of position for CDEC.
It was so important that Samara did not mess up the first fire, and then if he didn't activate that properly and get out of there and he got caught by the Lion, that would probably have been game. He didn't have buyback, he just bought the Daedalus, and I think at this point CDC might actually have enough burst damage to bring him down. Crucial that he stays calm here under pressure for EG. As CDC are looking to advance again. He's on
from Aggressive, runs up the instant damage as well. The call-down coming in, Fear being forced out of the way. They're trying to make it run, and actually forced up on the other side of the Shiki was trying to come in from the other side of the fight, but now they use the Mystic Flare, well, actually on absolutely nothing. It just keeps CDEC off the ramp up into the secret shop.
Flare is gone, the Tombstone is gone. Actually, he's spawning zombies that get stuck because of the familiars. Someone need a tango.
Free the zombies. EG. And so Tombstone's down. It's down for another 30 seconds, but CDEC are in no real hurry to try and push this in just yet. There's still a creep wave to get back under control.
They absolutely have to get back to this pit now. Roshan's respawned. There's no doubt that EG will be looking to scout this out in a moment as Sumail claims the entrance. They know Shiki is top, so they feel pretty confident moving around into this area. The Rocket's going to scout it. This fight is... So I think if CDEC get the Aegis on the Lesh and they don't lose a fight to get it, they easily have the potential to push high ground. For EG, they need to get it just so CDEC don't get it. I'm not sure EG can convert it into racks, but I'm feeling really confident for CDEC that they should be able to with their current staple items of their heroes. Here we go.
This launch the neighbor, there's still the observe ward on the cliffside just behind Roshan. So AUI is very visible, including Universe. His positioning is very well known.
They're taking too long.
Yep, they're not going to get here in time. This is Roshan, and the Sumail giving the cheese into his hands. It's Gyro with the edge, gets an aggressive, locked inside the read back, he's got him in the wall again. But then he gets beaten and turns on the damage with the call down. They're trying to escape. They have to get him off the hillside. Where are these 4-stars? Sumail is down. There's a 4-star from AUI. They're out. The Lion, the only casualty during that fight, but the rest of CDEC are trying to bail out of here.
EG taking a big CDEC catch them in there with a vacuum combo. They're in a lot of trouble, but EG were fast enough. I don't think CDEC expected it to go that quickly, and they missed their timing there. Very, very important for EG to grab this for Fear, and doesn't look like they're scared to try to push for a lane of racks here, or at least the tier 2, as, yeah, they have a lot of unclaimed power still to get. There are 3 towers behind CDEC.
Universe.
On the gold here.
Q. He doesn't really want to try and fight this one. Man, why wouldn't you want to push that? Like, you've got insurance over on the Embassy and having the cheese available.
Absolutely think the tier 2s. Yeah, I think they go bottom as well. Or maybe even top. Both towers there.
Maybe even look for a fight as he is in trouble. He'll let the call down go, but there's your missile blade. It's still just back in. It's not getting a little bit more of this damage. But either BKB or Roshan, they can force target down the cliff face. But it's not going to happen. Aggressive just keeps fighting a Ghana. They've actually iced him with a double zone. So both PP's in. And he's keeping him out. The agency model is triggered right now. That's the Mel. Style fisting. Small units going to get the bounce off. Fear. Dying of familiars. Then he's all hell. Magic Blast coming in from AUI. Aggressive still alive until the orb is chasing him up. He should be able to find this with a blink away. He's finding time to regenerate while PPD battling up against the rest of the familiar. The sun comes down. The Glimmer Cape will keep him alive. AUI will regather the gem now. They can't get rid of these familiars. And Sumail, well, he doesn't really want to fight either. He does have the cheese available, but they burned the Aegis and they lost the Gyro.
These fights are so extremely close. It's absolutely incredible how no one gets just a decent lead in the fight and is able to snowball through, but all of the mobility that both teams have, the BKBs, the 4-staffs, the blink from Slark, they just keep kiting very well, and Aggressive with another great fight there, by the way. He goes in on Fear, makes sure he steals a lot of stats here and just kites around using the BKB for the latest possible moment. And of course, I'm not sure what we actually had on the camera that people were seeing there, because there was like 2 fights going on at once. Saw the jump on Fear in the fight there, but of course the split fight with the Darkseer as well as the Lion, and for EG, the Skywrath Clock and the Ember. And a full duration Tombstone, by the way. Very important in this fight for EG that does not get countered early on.
I believe we actually saw both on the camera.
Oh, okay.
The wonderful ability of Zoom. So EG, you keep having these close fights between both EG and CDEC. How do you get the upper hand? Like, what's the goal here? Because right now, for me, you look at the cores, and the cores are farming quite equally. Like, Aggressive comes in with his Abyssal Blade and Scani. It's like, okay, well, I'll go up against the Gyrocopter. It's a fairly even battle, even with like Monkey King Bar and Butterfly over on Fear. Everything's just even Stevens, and then you got this Ember going up against the Lashrak, who now looks to be very close to completing up his Scythe of Vice, making him even stronger.
I think if you're CDEC, you look for another fight without the Aegis, because you've proven time and time again that you can shut down Fear in the fight with Aggressive on Slark. So if they can do that again, they'll be in a really good position. For EG, I think it's more about pushing out the waves, maybe slow playing a little bit. If they're looking to push this top tier 1, they could be in a really bad position if they get cornered by the Slark here. And should maybe try to slow play to wait for even the next Aegis and playing for the really, really late game.
It's a long time. CDEC, they haven't shown that patience in this game.
Big item.
Yep, they're coming. There's only good to be for Sumail.
That changes things quite a bit.
That actually means this side that Ice from Shiki is not going to be as fantastic. But CDEC, do you really want to try and defend this? They're going to use a smoke. 4 heroes in it. They have to know most of EG is on this top lane, because they started running towards the mid and then just all of a sudden did 180. That's no the other direction, but that tower on the top is almost down. The Rock scouting it out for EG. Obviously, they're not going to see anything with these smoked heroes.
Radiant's top
and
tower
Lashrak will
has
just
been
deny the
denied.
tower, while the Familiars are the ones doing the split push. They're pushing up middle lane at the moment, but EG want these remaining towers.
They're going to resummon up this noise as well from Q, so they're actually ready to fight. We have one of them dead, so... 1 or 2. They're actually going to give... Nah, are they going to...
And again, a shot down. They're going to find Shiki. He'll BKB, but it's enough damage to get the kill. Samel can't reach him. He tries to slide a fist in, but the Cogs actually kept him out.
Radiant structures are fortified.
So CDEC, they know that Hookshot's going to be on cooldown for another 23 seconds. Familiars preparing to come in from the side. Fear, remember he's got that BKB.
Dire's middle tower
Samel's
is
got that
under
Lincoln
attack.
Sphere up and running, so the initial attack won't be as easy.
Radiant's top tower
Back slide
is
of fist
under
trying to keep it
attack.
back. In comes Aggressive, triggers the BKB. EPD, already with a two down.
Dire's middle
They
tower
may not have
is
enough
under
for an
attack.
opening. In fact, maybe they will. They found Aggressive locked inside the Cogs, will over on the side. Fear is keeping the Visage out, and then the back, trying to go over the wall. They get a perfectly. Richard, he pops over, they more damage. Samel gets to try to fist off. He's so low on life, and now a little bit more. They can't even get him out. There's more damage coming in with the crack. So low on life, Aggressive turns the fight going on Fear. That's under there. EPD back to front line, trying to remove that life away from the slug. And they keep going. The Seagull's on him. He can't tell his way. They lock him inside the Cogs. Aggressive is down. Huge kill. He no longer hiding in the trees. It's not safe there. The line is back to base, and so is XT. A huge fight for EG. An invitation to force
Radiant's
buybacks here
bottom
from
tower is
CDEC.
under attack.
If they can push into the tier 3s.
That cheese
Radiant's
on
bottom
Fear.
tower has fallen.
Perfect timing using that. And
Radiant's top
CDC will
tower
have to
is
buy
under
back 1, if not
attack.
even 2 heroes if they want to hold this lane. They're buying Shiki back for now.
They don't want to have to slot though. And Shiki already getting picked up in front of XC. The back will come, they look for the summon on connect over on Female Universe. Pushing Aggressive back. The Cogs are keeping him out. On the side of Fist goes again from Samel. Defenses for a jump, and they're all trying to TP out. They got the double buyback, that's what they're looking for. And Aggressive, Abyssal Blade is still available. Blink Dagger off cooldown. And in fact, Samel up in the air with the Ultimate looking to with trigger, but Samel, he's gonna go down. CDEC, they get something back for their buybacks. In the meantime, middle lane, there's no tier 3 tower here. The Creeway pushed in, and it's already assaulting onto the melee racks. And also on bottom lane, look at that farm down there. It's heaven for a Visage. So many range creeps, he'll just soak up a lot of that.
Well, still a very expensive hold. CDC having to buy back their 2 biggest cores here.
They forced it from EG
they
as well.
forced one out from EG in turn, so it's not that bad. But Fear not having to buy back here in order to hold, it's going to give EG a pretty big bump in the relative strength between these 2 teams. And now we're down to the next Roshan. EG got so much out of the last one. The Aegis helped them win a fight. The Cheese, same story, also helped them win a fight and even force out those buybacks. And if they can get the next one, CDEC, this time they simply can't let it happen. Like, they have to be there earlier. Aggressive was pinging it out last time, but the reaction from his team wasn't fast enough. And I'm positive they will be fighting for this one.
This game, just when you think someone's gaining an advantage, the graph just swing almost back to 0. The gold graph actually was a very deep dive to 2,500, but the experience is practically on the 0 mark. Not a lot in this game at all. It's still anyone's. It actually went down for the first time, but then it instantly spikes back up.
Actually, this game's completely dead even. Then the question is who utilizes the golden experience better.
But that just comes down to teamfight execution. Like you can talk about buybacks and everything else, but you're kind of looking at everything both teams want. That side device, once Lashrak takes out this camp here, he'll have the money to purchase it. That means there obviously is no buyback because he already spent his money on this. But the Gyro is spending his cash. Actually, it's a smoke move from EG. They're coming up to the Radiant Ancients, and they're gonna find CDEC, but not where they really want to. They need to get up.
Aggressive is starting to run away from his team.
Oh, he could lose the side. The courier's coming in with the rest of the side. It's so close to Lashrak. He missed the hook shot in. They need that courier dead right now. It's on the run out. And actually, he doesn't even want to turn to pick up the side. Now he'll turn around. Okay, that's just 3 goals that they're not taking. But they move up. There's the series change over on the BKBs from both. Aggressive also jumps in. Looking for the Abyssal Blade trigger in Universe. Hook shots up. pushes the slide back. There's no BKB, but Chino gets the Marvel. The two will split this fight up. CDEC want to come in through the rear, but now they're running over to the dire side of the jungle, chasing in Samel right behind him. Has a blink dagger off corner. Another hook shot going to work. They find their opening. It's the Lion down. Q also being thrown down for that concussive shot. Locked inside the cogs in the middle of the river. He needs a path to bring him. It just doesn't bring this to Samel. He even goes in deep on the back and she goes down looking at Marvel. They back it back in. There's an adventure spirit to Marvel. Fight a fierce for it. There is enough damage to Christian. Harry Kane does they need the damage. Forced up away. Christian knows where to live. Exits in huge trouble. Trying to run himself out of the cogs. Forced up down by it. And this is real trouble right now for CDEC. Nicky down to the 3-1 as well. There are no buybacks available. Lion, the sole survivor. The only thing that is stopping this game right now is a creepway pushing the tier 4 tower up the tier 3 tower in the bottom lane. But that's no real problem. They'll Spirit jump back out. And EG, they are coming for the mid lane.
Be able to at least mega right now. They have a full minute on 3 cores on the enemy team, and what's really important about that fight for EG is the way they initiate, the way they plan. They move in from 2 different directions. Darkseer is never able to really find the action wall, and probably holds the wall too long here and ends up getting a pretty mediocre one when the fight is over. Lion never gets a spell off, gets killed way too early.
GG push. They're actually just going straight for the GG push. They want CDEC to admit defeat, and they get it! EG looks for 1 game up in the TR5 Grand Final. CDEC might have had a very convincing performance in Game 2. The EG hits out in a terrific display from both CDEC as well as EG. Wonderful donor all round.
This is probably one of the best games of the tournament so far. It closes in on almost an hour. So many small plays, so many combinations, the movement patterns, the decision making.
It's just wonderful.
This is why these 2 teams are in the grand finals.